Welcome, friend, to my apartment, which is also my studio. A home studio. Let's have a look around. So it's true, I live and work in a 650 square foot railroad apartment here in Brooklyn, New York, and I've lived here for 6 years, and over the course of this period of time, have obviously been confronted with the challenge of how to make it a fully working studio where I can record full bands and also have it be a pleasant place to live. So let's just dig into that a little bit. This is the studio space, basically. I've got one wall of one room. Since my space is so limited, what that has meant is that I pretty much track everything live, which works out great for me because I love music from the 50s and through the 70s especially, and a lot of that music was recorded with everybody sitting in one room, vibing off of each other, and that is what I am forced to do by the physical limitations of this space. One of the first things that I had to consider moving in here was sound treatment. It's the most boring thing to spend money on, but I've got this sound treatment that basically looks like wall hiding all over the place. So this is over my monitoring position. Kelly made this beautiful tapestry out of an old, was it a duvet cover? She's nodding. A duvet cover that fell apart. Then I've got more of this painted fiberglass hiding up all around the living room, and some what are technically bass traps in the corner, but I think they probably are really only low-mid traps because they just are not physically big enough, but I couldn't have anything bigger than that or they would just eat the space up. I also oftentimes just put up temporary sound treatment, like over the TV when I'm recording, so that I don't have parallel reflecting surfaces between these two walls, which we don't like. And then the real pièce de résistance of sound treatment is right this way.
Not
What?
that word.
Not that word?
Different. What the f*** does that even mean?
My finest work yet of sound treatment is right over here. So this wall is our little dining area, and it's directly opposite my mix position over there. And so on this back wall, we took some gobos, which are, it's a term for freestanding acoustic treatment, and upholstered one of them so that it matches the wall. But it's not just here for reflecting of the speakers. It slides out. I have two of them, and I can attach little feet to it and set it up anywhere in the room that I need to, because I've got this long hallway that stretches down into the kitchen, and it's a lot of plaster and it doesn't sound very good, so I use these to kind of block that up. And then yeah, they just store very neatly. Like so. Got a couple of keyboards here. This I predominantly use as a MIDI keyboard. It's not a full 88, but you know, you never really need the low keys or the high keys anyway. Fight me, pianists. And then a monophonic synth from the 80s here, which was a little bit of an impulse buy, but man, when it hits, it really hits. So I've enjoyed that a lot. This is obviously the main battle station, and the overall focus was just keeping everything small because I don't want it to just take over the whole living room as it easily could. This is a standing desk, and I'm very proud of the fact that I wired it up in such a way that there's enough slack where everything can very easily and comfortably move from sitting to standing. That is all connected to a little Mac Mini that sits up underneath the tape machine there. And the computer screen, which is down and towards me for when I'm just using the computer normally or doing editing or whatever, recesses up like that for when I'm mixing, which is great because this way there's nothing blocking the speakers from hitting my ears. It also reveals a little mono mix cube speaker down here, which I think is really important because it should be mixing in mono if you aren't. And then I've got a couple of compressors here as well, and I like having them right in front of me because then I can hear the changes that I'm making. I'm already right in front of the speakers. I had to keep this old Avid controller because their new one is too big to fit on the desk. And I have this little RME monitor controller, which I love because it's so small. It's so much smaller than most other monitor controllers. There's a beam of sun. There, that's what it looks like. And then AirPods. Gotta be checking your mixes in AirPods. Excuse me, please. One of the most indulgent features of my home studio setup is the fact that I record a lot of things on tape. I have an Atari 8-track machine over there, and the way that it's set up, basically I can just patch everything in digitally down here through these four straight into digital, or I can go straight into the tape machine on these 8. These 4 correspond to these outboard preamps that I have. Just enough for a little flavor, a little something on the way in, nothing crazy. But so once you plug something into the tape machine, it goes from down there across to here. This is my pièce de résistance of ergonomics right here in this part of the studio. A fan actually gave me this. I'm gonna lower this so we can get a better visual on it. This is a crazy experience. A fan called me and said, "Hey, I love your music. I know you're into recording. My wife and I are snowbirds. We live in upstate New York, but we're down in Florida right now. I have an old mixer at my house, and if you just drive to my house, here's my address. I'll see you on my Ring camera and let you in, and you can go pick it up and then, leave." And it's one of those things where it just seems like something could go wrong, but it turned out that it was actually all true and safe and fine, and this mixer was in like museum quality condition with the original warranty card and everything. And so it's not worth much, but I've become very sentimentally attached to it, and these are 8 preamps and EQs that go straight into the tape machine, and so it's just as easy for me to record right onto tape as it is for me to record into Pro Tools, which is wonderful. Now, of course, I can't access my mics, really, if the mixer is out. And so, order of operations, you set the mics up, and then you do the stuff on the board. Inside this beautiful IKEA cabinet is all of the fun things. A little adage that I try and live by here. This is a reminder that the performance is the most important thing, that good music, good arrangement, good performance, you can capture it all on a 57 or an AKG C1000. Cheap microphones. The music is king. That being said, I do love a good mic, and I think that a good mic can contribute to a great sounding recording. So my mic locker is divided up into 3 sections here. I got moving coil dynamic mics up here. I've got ribbon microphones right here, and then this is condenser world down here. And it's been a great limitation for me that I only want to own as many microphones as I can fit into this cabinet, because it would be easy to get carried away. Box of miscellaneous cables that every adult household has, enough headphones for if there's clients in that they can all monitor in the room. Yeah, that's pretty much that. This TV was used on the It's a Blue World shoot, and it's just so cute that we couldn't get rid of it. And then finally down here, this is all of Kelly's camera equipment. 1/4-inch cables and other miscellaneous.
That?
What? Oh, this? Oh, that's just going to be a mint condition, new in box Zoom H2. Short stands, auxiliary percussion, lights live tucked underneath here. We really use every single nook and cranny. My pedal board is tucked up under the side. More lights tucked up under the side. In the opposite corner, there's a subwoofer for my speakers that has DSP so that I can run room correction software. There's a hazer sitting on top of it, which is really not essential, but we've used it on a couple of videos and it looks really cool. Don't buy a hazer, it was a rash investment. And then I record drums in here as one of the craziest last things that I'll just touch on. A lot of people ask, how do you make noise in your apartment and not get evicted? And my neighbors have been incredibly accommodating. I've gotten very lucky over the years with neighbors that don't mind. They all have my phone number, and I've never gotten a text. And so I try and record in the middle of the day. I hire drummers who can play very quietly. And then I store the drums in the apartment. So let's take a look at how they're stored. Ready? We're gonna go for a ride. The shells live over here under this pile of spare blankets. And the hardware lives inside the couch. That's right, more IKEA. This is the Freiheiten. All the drum hardware is under this stuff here. We've got a piano stand for when there's a pianist in. An overhead projector that we used on the It's You video. That's a nice deep cut for folks. Some spare cassette tapes, and then a rug, because whenever I put the drums out, you need more absorption from underneath. The rug for the real heads was used on the Shag Carpet Rodeo originally, which was a 2020 live stream. In summary, when it comes to creativity, limitations can really be assets. When I first moved into this apartment 6 years ago, I was nervous that I was not going to be able to make recordings that sounded how I wanted, but it's turned out that the small space has obliged me to work in a way that I actually find really fulfilling and is really efficient and allows me to prioritize the song, which is what recording is always about. So don't buy more gear than you need, you know? This is what I'm using as a professional, and most people don't even need anything close to this much. Probably I don't even need close to this much, and I could still get away with it. But we're just trying to make beautiful music, really, at the end of the day, and capture it as honestly as possible. I hope that you have found this interesting, and if you have, I'm going to be. I think I'm gonna make a course about recording that goes into a lot more depth about my philosophy, my approach, how I record specific instruments, how I work with the limitations of home recording, and if you're interested in that, let me know, and I will keep you posted as that comes together. Thanks for watching.